So hi and welcome to today's session. Today's just a short introduction on how to use classes, just the basic things. I won't go into any really detail about classes. There is other introduction about introduction to objects and classes. I think if you want to know more about classes, this should just highlight short how to use and create new classes. So what is a class? In this case we have a class, a public class which is called main, and roughly said each Java class has its own Java file, of course, and the most important part is that the Java file name and the class name have to be the same. So keep that in mind. So if we, for example, change the class name and do not change the Java file name, here IntelliJ already highlights that this is an error, and the class main should also be declared in a file named main.java. So since the class is public, it should be declared in a file named main.java. So to fix this, we can fix a class name. So if the class name and the file name is the same name, the error is away and we can compile and execute it again. But if the class name differs from the file name, you see it, IntelliJ automatically highlights it as an error. Of course, other code editors maybe won't highlight you anything, but once you compile your classes, then you will get an error at the compile time. So keep in mind to use the name for the class also for the corresponding Java file. We can take a quick look or let's continue with IntelliJ. How can we create a new class? Of course, just right click new, create a new class file. Let's call it student, for example. Let's create a student class, and here you also see that the file name is student and also the class name is student. So you can also, of course, open it in the Explorer. Here this are our two Java files. One is main.java and one is student.java. Here IntelliJ just does not show the file endings or extensions, but the most important thought or what you should take away from this is that if you create a class student, it should be also in a Java file which is called student. Yeah, of course, you also can nest classes like this, or let's call it person. But so this, for example, would be a nested class, and you also could use the class in that way, and could use the person here in your main class somewhere to person p new, or let's call it I'm on this new person. So of course you can also create since this is we are in a static method, we also have to create a static class for this to work, but this should just showcase you that it's possible to nest classes, but it's a way better approach to create let's call it student, new student. What if we also take student here. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you can nest classes, but for this case it would be a much better approach if you create a new file and add the class student here, and then you remove the nested class. And here you see now we won't use now. If we remove now in this context, you see if you click on the student class, it also highlights you which class here will be used, and here for this example would be this class, this embedded class would be used. But since we also have a custom class here, student, we can, or a different file here with a class which is also called student, we can also of course get rid of this, and now IntelliJ or the student is not the embedded class will be used since it doesn't exist anymore, but the other class student here will be used instead. Why can we do this like this? Because public class main is in this package, in org ssepdb test project package, and student is in the same package. And since student and the main class are in the same package, you can just use student here or create a new object from student without using any import statement or that. You can imagine it like the main project, the main class and the student class are both in the same folder, for example. If you imagine packages as folders, and so both classes in this example are in the same folder, or both are in the org ssepdb test project folder or package. If you place the student package, for example, into another, if they place the student class in another package, for example, let's place it in the DTO package. Let's move the student to the org sse pdb test project DTO package. And now you see on the left, student is in another folder, and folder, of course, you can imagine also as packages, so in another package. And now in the main class we will get an error because they are not in the same package anymore. So this is in the ssepdb test project package, and this is in the test project.dto package. And now we can import the student. How do we do this? We can just have to write an import statement, import org ssepdb dot test project dot DTO dot student, of course. And now you specify the package, or if you want to imagine it as folders, you say the student class, this class here, which we want to use, is in this folder dot the class. Of course, with IntelliJ or also other IDs, you can also let IntelliJ create the import statements for you. Just move your mouse to student and hit Alt and Enter on the keyboard to import the class. And now IntelliJ adds the import statement for you. So what you should take away is that you can import other classes with the import statement, and for this case you specify the package where the class is inside, or the package of the class, and then you after the package, this is the package here, the whole package path. So this is the package, but this is the whole path, and then you append the class which you want to import. So with this you can import classes, of course. For example, if you want to use the scanner, you all know the scanner class to read input, for example. You see here it says java.util for utility, and this means that the scanner class is in java.util package. And if you want to use the scanner, of course, like that, for example, again, if you don't import anything, it won't work, because here the main file does not know where what the scanner class is. If you don't either have a scanner class as an embedded or nested class here, or as a custom class, or a class inside the same package. So now we just recreated an empty scanner class, but placed it in the same package like the main. So it recognizes, oh, okay, in this package we also have a scanner, so let's take the scanner class here. But since we don't want to use this scanner, we want to use the already available scanner in the Java util package. We can again move to the class we want to use and hit Alt Enter on the keyboard, import class, and now we have our import statement. Import the scanner class from the package java.util for utilities. Of course, you can also write the import statement on your own, like this, and now IntelliJ recognizes which scanner class we want to use, and we can use scanner and all methods of the scanner object, of course. So the key takeaways here are classes. The name of the class and the class file should be the same, and you can use import statements to import classes from other packages, for example, either from your own packages or also from the already available package, like java.utility for the scanner, or java.io for our what's this system? I think java. Yeah, I thought we already used something from here, but doesn't seem like that. But yeah, from other packages, for example. So, and there are already a lot of available packages. Why are they available? Because we are using a Java development kit, and since we use the JDK 1.8, for example, here, or 1.16, we have all the packages which are available in this JDK version, for example, in this case. Let's take a quick look, maybe. So this also, of course, this applies to whatever. This applies not to IntelliJ, but this is regardless of which editor you use. If you use Notepad, you have to also be sure that the class file is the same as the file you create. So maybe we can take a quick look at Java NID, maybe. So here, let's get rid of this, and here is the same. Here it is the same, of course. Here we have our our main class, and here we have our main.java file, and if you misspell this or choose a different name, let's say maybe main Raimund, for example, and here we want to system.out print line hi. Now if you run this, of course you will get an error, and here it also shows you that there's a compile an error while compiling the public type main Raimund. So public type main Raimund is this public class here, must be defined in its own file main Raimund. What does this mean? That we have to change either the name of the Java file here, or we can also go to file and save as and call it main save as here. I somehow have to fix this a little bit because I can't see the okay, now I can maybe increase the size again. Yeah, okay, good. Yeah, the path, so I want to save it in this folder here where those two Java files are, and I want to call it like my class main underscore Raimund. And I select, now the class name and the file name here is the same, and if I run it now, of course I will get another compile error, main underline Raimund. Oh, there is no, oh, there is one, did I mistyped something, main underline Raimund. Oh yeah, I didn't switch the file. So now I opened the main Raimund Java file. Now if I run it, we'll get a new error. Main Raimund is already defined type. Oh yeah, of course. So you can't have two. So the problem here is that in my main.java file there is a class called main underline Raimund, and in my main Raimund file there's also a class called main underline Raimund. So let's change that back to just main. And now let's open main Raimund again, and now if we run it, it compiles and it runs the program. So here's of course the same. You also have to take care which name you choose and how you name your file, that I'm able to compile it, and you are able to compile it, or everyone is able to compile it and run it, of course. Yeah, and here the same, since you see the main Raimund, let's remove the main Raimund class. So the main file here is in the org.sse.pdb hello world package, and the student class is also in the same package, and since they are both in the same package, I can of course also use the class like student. Here I also got auto completion. Raimund is student, and let's pass an argument for the constructor. Around, and here we can say Raimund.get name, maybe run it. Here we have the name, and the same if we change to the student class and change the package name, for example, again to a package, let's call it DTO for if we change the package here, let's change it to DTO, for example, for data transfer object, and here here NID does not behave the same like IntelliJ, so it won't automatically create a subfolder, but that's no problem at all. So now if you change this line here, this package on the top, you can change the packages anyway. So now main.java is in the package org ssepdb hello world, and student is a different package in org ssepdb hello world.dto, so in the DTO package. And now if you run this, of course, we get an error. What does it say? Error, student cannot resolve to a type. So if you get the error, something cannot be resolved to a type, it doesn't know this type, it cannot resolve it. There it is, it cannot resolve this type. And to resolve a type, of course, you have to import it. So you can use the import statement for org ssepdb.hello world.dto. So in this package there is the student class, and then you say .student, and now if you run it, it works again because we imported it. How do you know what you have to type here? Just check out the Geo class, in which package is the class in the org ssepdb hello world.dto package. So you have to take this package and then just append the class name. So org ssepdb hello world.dto, that's the package, and then the class name .student. And now we can use this student like before. Yeah, so that was just a short introduction to class names and file names, and I hope to see you soon. Ciao.